Jackson, you start the last 2 games of last year. You played really well. How much of an impact did that have of your decision to come back?
I think it was that was part of it, for sure. Just to be able to, go out there and start and have a positive impact. I think that was a big reason why I decided to come back. The other reason why I really decided to come back was the guys in the locker room, and they'll always have a special place in my heart. And same here as at the University of Tennessee. I mean, the school's done a lot for me, throughout my entire life. So I think those 2 factors were really why I decided to come back.
LRV mentioned that you're one of the guys taking reps at left guard during this fall camp. Just what do you think it would take out of you during fall camp to win over that position as a starter?
Yeah, just being consistent, playing the way I typically play, especially in the run game, and also the pass game, just being able to, move people, but also, playing smart. And I think those 2 things are really going to help me win the job.
Jackson, I know your grandfather meant a lot to you. Can you just kind of verbalize, kind of what you learned from him growing up, and I know you'll be playing for him this fall.
Yeah, that's a tough question there. No, he meant the world to me, and just the stuff he taught me about leadership and really the proper way to treat people, and then also just the game of football. I mean, especially at a young age, and I wish he could still be around. So, thank you.
Jackson, you mentioned why you decided to come back. Waiting for your opportunities that you're starting to get now. How challenging was it during that time, waiting for your opportunity?
There were some tough times, but there were also some good times. I mean, it was really just taking every opportunity that I could get and just trying to run with it and show what I could do. And, since I've been here, there's been a lot of, exceptional people who have been in front of me. I mean, you've got guys like Trey Smith and Cade Mays, and then, Spraggins the past few years. And so really just every time I've gotten my opportunity, I felt like I've had to take it and run with it. And I feel like that's what I'm trying to do this fall camp.
How's your relationship with the coaches evolved, whether it's Coach Ellerby or any of the others?
Oh, it's great. Coach Ellerby and I have a great relationship. Coach Heupel and I also have a great relationship. I mean, to speak volumes about Coach Heupel. I mean, when, the day my grandfather died, he, called me and my family and was just, devastated that it happened and really cares about me as well as my family. And I mean, he also cares about everybody else on this team. I mean, he's the perfect guy you could have as a head coach.
Anything else, Jackson?
The rotation is something that LRB had talked a lot about, especially at that left guard position. How much is that a message to this team that they do want that luxury to rotate guys this season? Yeah,
I mean, we've got a lot of depth there. We've had a lot of guys playing left guard. I mean, myself included. You've got Dane Davis. You've also got Andre Carrick. And then you have Sham Umarov. And then I'm sure even more guys could, plug and play there. But it really just speaks to the, how great this coaching staff is by getting guys ready for that position. And then also just how much depth we have. It's a pretty good thing to see.
Are you better, or is anybody better at the position like that if you're there like for a long period of time in practice as opposed to like moving around?
I mean, it honestly just depends. I'd like to think that people can get more comfortable at certain spots. Thankfully, I'm able to play both sides, and so I feel like that's been one of the best things that I've been able to do. I mean, last year I played both right and left, and I'm sure this year I'll still have to play both too. So it's just it ends up being a point of preference, but at the same time you've got to be ready for either one.
Did y'all know the scenarios last year during the game of if this guy goes out, I go in, as opposed you can have a depth chart, but sometimes like Dane would go in for different positions.
Yeah, I mean you kind of do, just depending on what happens in practice, and that's usually a conversation you kind of have with Coach Ellerby. So.
Are you getting reps in practice right now, both at left and right, or is it more?
I am.
Is there one area of your game that you think you've made the most progress and improved the most that you're proud of?
I mean, I feel like my pass game's gotten better. I really do. And then also my run blocking. I feel like I'm able to open up a lot of space, and I feel like I was, doing a pretty good job of that in the bowl game and then also the Vanderbilt game. So, but those two areas I feel like I've gotten the best at.
What did the
Couple more.
coaches? What did the coaches say to you after those two starts, like your end of the year meeting about how you played toward the end of the season?
Yeah, I mean, they were definitely positive about it. They felt like I did a really good job of playing there, and also just taking that opportunity was something that they were proud of me for doing. So.
Being an inside guy, who's the toughest to block on that really good defensive line on the other side?
We've got so many guys, man, that are all so different. I mean, during practice, like if you watch like film or our games, you could not get two different D linemen than Elijah Simmons and then Omar. Okay, so it's like one play you've got some guy who weighs about 340 and is just strong as an ox. And so you got to prepare for that. And then you got Omar, who's quick as a cat. And then sometimes you'll even have James Pierce or Big O or any of those guys. I mean, I'm sure there's a ton of names I'm leaving out, but I mean, all those guys are tough to block. So.
Thanks, Jackson.
Thank you.
Thank you.